You thought McLaren let him go. You thought the pressure was too much. You thought there was turmoil behind the scenes at Woking. You were wrong. This morning, one of the fastest young talents in the paddock has shattered the entire narrative surrounding his sudden and mysterious exit from the reigning F1 world champions. We are talking about the Irish sensation, Alex Dunn, who just revealed the brutal strategic reality that forced him to walk away from the greatest opportunity of his career. This is the kind of ruthless decision-making that separates potential champions from those who stagnate on the sidelines. Dunn departed the McLaren F1 operation in October under highly peculiar circumstances. The paddock rumour mill went into overdrive, suggesting McLaren was clearing house, or perhaps that Dunn simply hadn't measured up. But the truth is far more calculated, far more intentional, and reveals a deep, structural problem facing every highly talented junior driver currently attached to a top F1 team. Dunn left, not because he was pushed, but because he saw a wall coming in 2026, and he chose to detour now to secure his future in 2027. If you want to understand the high-stakes chess game played behind the scenes of F1 driver contracts, hit that subscribe button right now. We track the breaking news and the long-term strategic moves that define the future grid. Don't miss a single crucial development. The core revelation is stark and immediate. Dunn has clarified to Balls.ie that his departure from the McLaren Junior program in October was unequivocally his own choice. He stated clearly, and I quote, "It was actually my decision. This changes everything. This was not a failure on McLaren's part or a lack of pace on Dunn's. This was a calculated, strategic sacrifice made to ensure he has a clear, unimpeded path toward his ultimate and immediate goal, becoming a Formula One driver." Why does a promising junior leave one of the best seats in the business? The answer is the 2026 Formula One season. Dunn decided to walk away because he felt the move was absolutely necessary to avoid spending 2026 completely on the sidelines while McLaren's current F1 seats are locked down. Let's expand on this critical point. McLaren is in an enviable yet problematic position. They have one of the strongest, most stable driver pairings on the current grid in Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. Both drivers are young, both are performing, and critically, both are contracted deep into the future. For a driver like Dunn, attached to the junior program, this means the pathway to the main seat is effectively blocked for the foreseeable future. The sheer talent and contracted longevity of Norris and Piastri create a bottleneck that strangles the immediate opportunities for juniors. By staying attached through 2026, Dunn faced the almost certain prospect of a year spent doing simulator work and perhaps a handful of FP1 sessions, while his rivals, potentially those attached to teams with more volatile lineups, would be fighting for F2 glory or negotiating their F1 future. He correctly identified that remaining in the McLaren system without a guaranteed promotion date was an act of career stagnation. He noted that although his father was initially hesitant, a natural reaction when turning down a world champion team, Dunn felt more than comfortable with the choice, viewing it as part of a larger, long-term plan to reach the top flight. This is the definition of professional maturity. He traded the short-term security and prestige of the McLaren Association for the long-term freedom and flexibility of being a free agent. The impact of this decision on McLaren itself is also significant. While they retain a deep pool of talent, they have just lost a proven commodity. Dunn himself referenced the pretty special opportunities he was given, specifically his successful FP1 debut in Austria. And here is the truly fascinating detail. In that session, he was demonstrably within 0.2 of Oscar Piastri's pace. For a rookie making an FP1 debut, especially in a demanding car, being within 0.2 seconds of a regular race winner is an extraordinary metric. It serves as concrete proof of his speed and F1 readiness. This performance metric validates his strategic exit, proving that his decision was based on market realities, not performance deficits. He was good enough, but the seat simply wasn't open. Dunn's relationship with the team, despite the voluntary exit, remains remarkably positive. He stated, "I'll always thank McLaren for that opportunity," emphasizing the unique nature of his experience under Zak Brown. This positive separation is crucial for his future marketability. It ensures he leaves Woking with strong references, rather than the taint of a forced dismissal. This is a business built on relationships, and burning bridges, particularly with a top-tier team, is career suicide. Dunn navigated the separation perfectly. Now, let's look at the insights he gained while there. Working directly with Norris and Piastri provided invaluable on-site data. Dunn praised both drivers, describing them simply as normal people who just happen to be on television more often than others. This kind of humanizing perspective is crucial. It demystifies the F1 elite, allowing the junior drivers to see them as peers rather than untouchable legends. He noted that getting to see how they approach a race weekend, the discipline, the preparation, the debriefs, was pretty cool and provided lessons that no simulator session could replicate. This experience is what he now carries forward as his competitive advantage. The fallout of his exit immediately sparked significant interest across the paddock. At the time of his departure, Dunn was heavily linked with a switch to Red Bull's notoriously demanding junior program. However, a move to Helmut Marko's youth stable never materialized. This is another layer of strategic complexity. While Red Bull offers a clearer, if brutally short path to F1, it also locks a driver into a rigid, high-pressure system. Dunn's choice to remain unattached suggests he prioritizes optionality over immediate security. Furthermore, the 20-year-old has also been linked with Alpine. This link is particularly relevant because Alpine is actively assessing its driver landscape for the future. They will be looking for alternative options as they evaluate the long-term future of their current leading junior, Franco Colapinto, particularly looking toward 2026 and 2027 driver assignments. Alpine needs proven talent, and Dunn, fresh off showing Piastri-level pace, represents exactly the sort of validated prospect they might be looking for, especially if they lose confidence in their existing structure or if Colapinto fails to hit mandatory benchmarks. This brings us to his concrete plans for 2026. As he prepares for his sophomore F2 campaign with Rodin Motorsport in 2026, Dunn is hyper-focused on one objective: capturing the championship title. This is the cornerstone of his entire strategy. He doesn't need to worry about impressing one particular F1 boss. He only needs to win. And here is the beautiful part of the strategy. Being unattached to a specific F1 junior program grants him maximum leverage. This independence allows him more flexibility to negotiate with various teams as the highly anticipated 2027 driver market begins to take shape. Imagine the scenario. If Dunn wins the 2026 F2 championship, he will be the hottest free agent property available. He won't be tied to Red Bull, forced into AlphaTauri, or locked into a specific development deal at Alpine. He can field offers from potentially Mercedes, Aston Martin, Williams, or even back to McLaren if a situation changes drastically. This maneuver transforms him from a developmental asset dependent on one team's benevolence into a sought-after talent dictating his own terms. This calculated gamble underscores a major shift in how highly rated juniors view the F1 ladder. They are recognizing that the biggest risk is not failing to find pace, but rather being caught in a contractual purgatory behind established superstars. By preemptively severing ties with McLaren, Dunn has bet on his own ability to perform and negotiate. The security offered by Zak Brown was replaced by the infinite potential offered by market flexibility. If he performs in 2026, his decision to abandon the comfort of the Papaya family will be viewed as one of the most brilliant strategic moves of a generation. If he falters, however, the safety net is gone entirely. This high-stakes approach is what makes the 2026 F2 season for Alex Dunn must-watch motorsport. He is driving for a championship, but more accurately, he is driving for the power of choice in the 2027 driver market, where he aims to secure the F1 seat on his terms, unburdened by loyalty or obligation. The narrative is rewritten. The mysterious exit was a masterstroke. Alex Dunn wasn't rejected. He strategically opted out of a temporary dead end. He walked away from the security of McLaren because he correctly identified that the 2026 grid was full, and staying meant losing a critical year of F1 negotiating power. His goal is the F2 title, turning himself into the biggest free agent prize for 2027. This isn't just about racing. This is high-level corporate career planning executed on the track. What a fascinating turn of events. The stability of the McLaren lineup created the conditions for this shocking departure. Keep an eye on the F2 grid in 2026. Alex Dunn is driving with a clear, single purpose, and the entire F1 market is his target.